Hi everybody! Okay, I decided to go live to show you guys how I am going to be making my Mega Planner. Well, I guess I'm going to be calling it Mega Journal because it's not specific to planners. It is a journal. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to be making my planners, journals from now on. I decided to change up how I'm doing the spine and the binding. I decided to make it a little bit more uniform, a little bit more durable, a little bit more so to speak. So I'm gonna flip the camera around so you guys can see what I'm doing. I just wanted to let you guys know that that's what I'm doing first so far. And if you guys have any questions, I mean, you can feel free to join in right now. I'm going to be doing it live. Otherwise, leave your comments down below. And I guess I will see about getting to them as soon as I can. And after this, I'm going to be going ahead and opening up my Etsy store at around 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. In addition to that, I am going to be giving away the mega journal that I'm making right now that you're going to be seeing in the video. So I hope that you guys enjoy what you see, and I hope that you guys like the journal that I make, and stay tuned for when the store opens, and of course for the giveaway. The instructions will be down below as well. So let's go ahead and flip the camera around. Okay, not used to doing this live, so give me a second to adjust. Okay, so the first thing that you guys are seeing is just my workspace. Okay, so the first thing that I start off with is, of course, composition notebooks. Gotta start off with composition notebooks because those are the foundation of the entire book. And then, of course, I need string, some scissors, need some glue. I'm going to be using a bit of office paper, or just, regular copy paper. Don't mind my daughter. She's in the background. She's supposed to be napping, but she is watching Dr. McStuffins as well, so I'm hoping that that should keep her occupied. But what I started with is I have two different sizes. I have my 2 inches. This is the 2-inch one. It's actually rather large. I added a few pages to it, and everybody who I do send a book to is going to have their own extra book that is going to come with it, so that you can add various pages here and there. And that's just so that you can be sure that the book actually has pages that will match it completely, because I don't want anybody to have to go out and buy a composition notebook that does not match the ones that I have. I'm sorry, I have to adjust this so that I can make sure that I can keep filming. Okay, almost there. Okay, that should work out nicely, because I got to make sure it's still charging. But anyway, okay, so that's the 2-inch one that I'm making right now is about this size. I showed you guys this in a video before, and I'm just starting off with these composition notebooks. I got them from Office Depot. They were $2 each, and I'm just basically going to break these down completely, where I take off the cover. Let me move that. Just pull it right off. And all you're going to do is take off all of this string that you see here. You're going to use your scissors and just go through, cut it off. It's a little difficult sometimes, but sometimes you get lucky and you can just kind of yank it out of there. But basically, you're going to do the same thing for all of these. Rip them all out. And then you're just going to end up with a whole bunch of these. In order to get the size that I showed you, you need 4. 4 of these composition notebooks. They have 80 sheets inside of them. And so basically, after you have taken all of the string out and it's nice and open, you're just going to take 7 pages each. Signatures. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and so you're going to take 7 pages for each signature, and you're just going to keep doing that until you pull them out. And I'm just doing this for demonstration. Go ahead and count out all the ones that you need. Make sure there's 7 in each signature. And so when you're done, then you have these signatures here. And you just flatten them out nice and even. And there you go. You have all the holes that you need. You can go ahead and sew in all of these, or you can also do the easier thing and just staple them. That works too. Otherwise, you can just go in, and I did this pre-did this so that I would not have to show you guys how I did this again, but I did show it in a previous video. Also, Seam Lemon has a video where she shows how you can do the stitching as well. And all I did is I did the basic book stitch, and I sewed it in various spots along the spine so that no matter what, the book will not come apart. Because I realized when I was making like my first few Mega Planners, let me go ahead and show you. When I was making my first Mega Planners, I was just literally taking these gigantic signatures here, even though they were sewn up and whatnot. But I was taking them and I was just putting them together. So I had a bunch of books that were just, you know, close together like this. Giant signatures with a lot of pages. And so when I made my very first Mega Planner, I realized it was going to have a lot of issues here. So as you can see, as the book grew, so did the signature itself. And so I ended up having to pull the book apart and actually, you know, re-glue it and stuff like that. So this actually kind of helps a lot with making sure that there is no breaking, there is no issues, there's no problems. And the graph paper is so helpful. I love it. I love the graph paper. It helps when you're doodling and drawing and all of that jazz and stuff. So, okay. And I also save these too because these make great covers. They make great, they make good anything really. I use them for many other planners and many other projects and stuff. So, okay, I'm going to set those aside. Okay, so after you've gotten your signatures and you've sewn them all in, you've got 2 inches here of book. And so the next thing I do, I think I just lost my string. Anyway, so I take my copy paper. That's the next thing I do. And I cut it to dimensions that will actually fit the paper itself. Sorry for being out of frame constantly. That is not my intention. Let me just move all this out of the way. Okay, so then you cut it to the right dimensions, and I have to use about actually 2 pages of 2.5 pages of this copy paper usually works. And just so that there is a a piece of paper that is kind of keeping the book from just being straight paper to cover. It needs to kind of have a little gray area in there. Not to mention, I did forget to mention that I do have just a little bit of water and a small little bit, a little tin can that I actually got from the Target dollar spot. It was a candle. And I just used the top so that I could, just kind of use the glue and rummage it around with my handy dandy paintbrush. So I'm just going to use a bit of glue here, not a ton. And yes, I'm just using plain old Elmer's glue because it works so well in this way. You can use many different kinds of glue. I do have tacky glue, and that works pretty good too, but I mean the Elmer's glue works just as good. I also have spray-on adhesives that do work just as well too. So what's going to happen here is I am just going to take this page. Now I don't have to do it any specific way on this first part because it's just going to be glued anyway, and plus the cover is going to, oh, I'm sorry, you can't see. The cover is, there's going to be something covering the first page anyway, so all of these glue spots that are going to be, that seem like they're going to appear here aren't actually going to be something to focus on. So let me put this, okay. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, that fits nicely. And then we're going to just flip this on over, and then we're going to focus here. This is where the paintbrush comes in handy. Okay, so we're going to make sure everything is nice and straight. And then we're just going to paint as much wonderful glue on here as possible. And this is also where you get rid of all of those pesky little strings and such that come with sewing up your edges. And again, you do not have to do it this way. You can do it the other way in the other video. I just wanted to do this a little bit more efficiently for when I sell them to all of you lovely people out there, because I want it to last as long as it possibly can. I want it to be durable. I mean, if it's for me, I don't mind. If it's, you know, rush job, but when I make stuff for other people, I want it to, you know, last a while. So generous amount of glue, as you can see. Generous amount. So, okay. Let's make sure there's no mess here. Okay. So we've got plenty of glue there. Don't mind getting messy. Okay, so we're going to just stand that up so that no matter what, all the signatures should line up perfectly. Even if not, we can fix that. So then we're just going to flip this over, and we're going to smush that in there. Just smush it on in. Okay. Smushing that in, that's great. Okay. Now that we've gotten that focused on and nice and worked in, you can actually just go ahead and add a little extra glue to make sure that that stays nice and well grounded. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing with two other pieces of paper. Just going to, this is exactly what I did. I just kind of sized it out, folded it over. There we go. And cut where we see the line. Okay. Alrighty. So now that we have gotten that part done, okay, we are just going to be able to, oh wait, that's right, I only need two pieces for the 2-inch spine. So as you can see, we're just going to do the exact same thing, flip that over. Perfect fit, right? Okay, so the first thing, we're going to glue this bad boy down. Let's glue it down. I enjoy this so much. I love working with paper. Okay, now that part's done. Okay, now we've got that part done. Getting creative, aren't we? All right, let's move this stuff out of the way so that I can put this on over. Like I said. Okay, and we're just gonna, don't be afraid to claw right here. Really want to get into those edges so that it really stays nice and firm. Okay. Okay. Same thing here. Flip it on over. And we have got a good thing going here. Okay. Smush it on in. Don't be afraid to show it who's boss. Don't be afraid to get dirty. Okay. So now that that part is done, oh my gosh, okay. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more glue. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the difference in sizes here. Okay. So this is the 2-inch spine. And what's cool about this is it's going to be able to have this rounded spine here. That's going to be so cool on the book. Okay. And this is actually the one I'm going to be using for my Megaplanner. I just have to put the spine on it as well. Or not the spine, but the cover. Okay, so I'm not really sure what kind of cover I want to do. I'm just going to pull out the paper pack that I got. Since it is fall now, I figured this would be a fantastic way to show you guys I love fall, and that fall is just one of my favorites. Okay, let me move the glue because I'm not going to be using glue for that. I'm going to be using Mod Podge so that it's got a nice clear finish. I'm going to put a clear coat of that on there for, let's see. Okay, so let me move this. Okay, so let's see now. I'm going to pick something fall fun related. I'm really going for the wood. If there is anybody who has any ideas, I can make many of these different paper types that you see. Oh, I do love this. I think I might actually just do this, a little bit of this. I'm going to use a couple of ones. It's going to have a fun feel to it. Oh, I love that paper. I love that. I might end up doing this one as well. I'm probably going to add a little bit of woodsy with this orange here. So let me see. I'm going to take that one and this one. I'm going to need a little bit more of this. Okay, and then I'm going to add a few little decorations. Well, not decorations. Well, yeah, I guess you could call these decorations, but they're more along the lines of, like, say, die cuts or other little pieces of ephemera to the cover. So I wanted to add something a little more gold to the front. So I'm probably going to add some stickers and whatnot to make it look nice. I'm really going to enjoy that. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. So in order to make the hardcover, like I said, use these. I can reuse these, but I do also like to use one that works really well is actually poster board. And yes, you can get this from the dollar store. And you guys know how I feel about using things that are, you know, really easy to find and really easy to buy. So just make sure that all of these are nice and well made. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is take this and I am going to cut out the proper size for not only these, flaps, but for let's see. Let's see. Okay, so I've got these two, and I am just going to be, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to add for 2 inches for the spine. Got my ruler. Okay, so here we have the cover, and then I'm going to add a little bit of space. And then 2 inches for the spine, a little bit of space, and then here. Okay. So I'm just going to mark this out. There's no worries about the marking on the paper or on the board because the board is going to get covered up anyway. Okay, so okay. So I was able to get out some pretty good dimensions. I'm just going to cut this out so that I can taper it down to the right size. Thank you for anybody who is tuning in. I am not able to really look up too much to see who has and has not tuned in. I know you people are working hard and do not have time to just tune in the middle of the morning. But today is one of my free days, so I'm taking advantage of it. Okay. Okay, so we've got this here. Now, let's see how well this fits. Okay, yes, this is working out nicely already. See, that's how you want it. It needs to overlap some here and there. Okay. Now, I need to just find the absolute center. And to find the absolute center, I'm just going to do this, where I fold it, meet the two edges together. I'm going to just hold it here, take a pen, and mark the very center. Okay. So now I can see here that this is the middle. And then I am just going to re-glue and put the dead center of this in the middle when the time comes. So before I do that, I need to make sure that these dimensions will work. Okay, so let me put it back up, see where the middle is. Okay. Okay, make sure each edge actually fits in well. Okay, and then there is quite a bit of hangover, but that is okay. See, there's quite a bit of hangover, so I'm going to probably end up cutting a bit off from each side. So okay, just a bit, and it's not super important to focus on it being straight because when it gets covered, it's gonna balance itself out, and you'll see what I mean soon. But the key is to just make sure that it is a straight edge, and I've always been pretty good at creating Awesome straight edges. I'm sorry, it's just something I do pretty good. But like you can just actually just take a ruler and make sure that it's a very straight edge. Okay, and so I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Just take off about that much so that the book can actually hang off the edge without being too much. Okay, see? And then the book should fit in just nicely, like this. Okay, fits in nicely, and it's laid down at the bottom, but you get the idea. So when the time comes, I'm going to put the spine inside. But first we have to decorate the cover. So now that we have the cover ready and we have picked out what we're going to do here, I do a little something like this. It's going to be so nice and so fall focused. I love it. Okay, so move this out of the way. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is take all of this paper and I'm going to cut it down to the right size. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. I'm going to cut this center page to the right size because these two pages are actually going to cover the entire book. And then I'm going to have this holding it together kind of as the spine, kind of like I did with my junk journal, where I have this. I did it the opposite with my junk journal, where I had the pretty paper on the spine and the wood on the actual cover. But what I'm going to do is kind of reverse that and put the wood on the outside and put the pretty paper as the cover. So that's what's happening here. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is get out my Mod Podge. Okay, Mod Podge. Okay, so I already had this ready, and I'm just going to wipe it out with a cloth so that the Mod Podge doesn't really affect the glue doesn't affect the Mod Podge. Okay, so I'm just going to take my Mod Podge here. Yes, this is a new bottle, so that I had no excuses about being like, oh my gosh, I'm out of Mod Podge. No, I can't do the video. No, not this time. I'm going to get this video done. Okay, so I got my Mod Podge. Great stuff. Dries totally clear. Okay, so I'm just going to sit this here to the side. Try to put it where you guys can see it. Okay, and I've rinsed off my brush. Okay. Now, the first thing you do before you start Mod Podging everything to death and making a mess is glue these two bad boys together. Trust me, you don't want to try to do that and just have two pieces flying around. So I'm just going to take some regular old glue and glue these two pieces together. Smarter, not harder. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. Okay, so got that ready. Let me scoot this up here. Okay. Okay, so as you guys can see, oh, that's so pretty. I love it. So I did mention, you guys, that this is going to be a giveaway prize that I'm making right now. So stay tuned. I am going to make sure that whomever wins it is very, very happy. Okay, so one more thing, just because this is important for me, because I like rounded corners, because it is a composition notebook. And no, I do not have a corner rounder, but I'm pretty good at it, trust me. Okay. And don't worry about those lines. Those are going to get nice and covered, like I said before. Okay. Nicely done. And don't worry, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, it's going to be covered. So it'll give the illusion of 100% straight lines. Okay, so we've got rounded corners. We have got everything ready. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut off this little excess part over here so that it fits nicely. Because we're just going to fold over all of these edges and we're going to make sure that it looks nice. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this excess off here. Okay, we are cooking now. Okay, so the first thing I advise you to do is to fold it first. Fold it first. That way you are not trying to fold it while there's Mod Podge in your hands or anything crazy like that. Okay, so I'm just advising you now, if you are going to make it. If you're going to make me do it, just watch me. Okay, so the next thing is, obviously we have to fold in these corners first because we want those rounded corners to look nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start this process. Okay, so I think, yep, that is ready. We're ready. Okay, so let's get our Mod Podge. Okay. Okay, and we're just going to be generous with that. Yeah. No worries. We don't need to worry. Oh, yeah. Make sure we get that front part first. Forgot. We just need to make sure the entire front is covered so we get no air bubbles. Okay. No air bubbles here. Okay. In fact, let me move this. Okay, we're just going to get sloppy with it. Kind of like making a pizza. Okay. And then the brush should smooth this out nice and easy. When it does lay flat, it won't be that big of a problem. But nice and generous. Nice and generous. If you are tuning in, welcome. It is difficult for me to look. Okay, see, there's a few people here. Welcome. We are making a mega journal. Okay. So, we're going to place that right back where we found it. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Nice and perfect. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. Okay. And so we're going to do the same thing. Slather it. Just slather it with love. Yes, no air bubbles here. Okay, and then we're going to lay that first flap over. There we go. First flap laid. Okay. And I said do it this way because that way you are not worried about too many air bubbles and you don't have to try to fit the entire thing on there. While the Mod Podge is still wet and sticky, it gets to be a mess if you try to do it all at once. Trust me, it's like trying to balance the whole thing on It's like trying to balance a pizza that's like just dough and, you know, wet pizza sauce onto a pan before it's cooked. It's crazy. So yes, don't do that. Do it like this. Do it like this. This is what works. Make sure that that is still focusing. Okay. Okay, so we are good on this part, and we're gonna just roll it and smush it. Do it nice and flat. That's what we like, yes. Nice and flat. And still yet more Mod Podge. Okay. And then we are ready. Add a little bit more over here, because you want that to stay and adhere completely. Sorry if you guys can't see. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, there we go. So we roll that, push it on down, smush all that Mod Podge out of there so that it does not create air bubbles. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna add a little more Mod Podge to this edge here. Okay, so we're gonna lay that corner flat now. There we go. Okay. Everyone who has seen this has seen this process once or twice before. Okay, so we're gonna fold this on over. Okay, it's coming together nicely, isn't it? Okay, that's pretty. I'm going to add just a little bit of Mod Podge to make sure it stays. Don't worry, all of this dries absolutely clear. Okay, so we're going to worry about all of these sides. Okay. Okay, flap that over. Same thing. Oh, yeah. Okay. The point is to get at least one side flapped over first, and then it's smooth sailing from there. Okay. Ooh, that's going to be so pretty. Okay. Get some more Mod Podge. Hello, everyone. All right. Okay, so we've got that going. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, wait, let me add a little bit more. See, this is why the Mod Podge is so important. Okay, flapping it over. Oh yeah, that's gonna stay now. Yeah, that's gonna stay now. Okay, last flap. Put a little bit under there, make sure it stays. Okay. And all done. Put that in various spots. Okay. And flap that on over. See how it can be kind of difficult with that large flap. Okay. I know. It looks a little rough around the edges so far, but we're not out of the woods yet. Okay. But look at that so far. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, so the next thing we have to add this beautiful wood here. So how are we going to add this, you ask me? What we're going to do is flip this over. And we're going to decide what we want to be our front, which I decided is going to be this because it looks so nice. Okay, and then we are going to take about that much paper, fold that in half. Okay. Now with it folded in half, back and forth so we can see that seam there, we are going to cut. And I am going to pay very close attention because I want whomever gets this to be very happy with it. Okay, and I know you guys can't see quite clearly everything I'm doing at this second, but I assure you, it will be well worth it. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's going to be a pretty book. Okay. So, after we have cut, I think I want it like this. Okay, so after we have cut, then we are going to just flip this. Okay, not flip it. We are going to take our Mod Podge again. Find the center point. That's about the center. And we are going to Mod Podge some more. Oh yeah, that's Mod Podge. Mod Podge. Gotta love this stuff. Okay, and so I add just a little bit here in the crevices so that it stays. Not that it won't, because it's going to be covered, but I like security in that area. Now the key focus here is to make sure that when you're placing this, you add a bit of Mod Podge to these edges so that it doesn't peel up. Okay? And don't worry about all the tops and stuff that's going to get flapped over. Okay, so we're just going to take this. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to place this. And don't worry, again, it dries absolutely clear. Okay, so don't be afraid to smooth down those edges. Okay, and then we're going to flip it. Make sure you bend it, because remember, this book has a rounded edge, and you want it to round with it, so you need to make sure that it's rounded. Okay, so liking that. Aw, you made it. I'm so glad. Hi. Yay, I'm glad you could make it too. Oh my goodness. We are getting started though. We are started, but you are not late. Don't worry. There's plenty to see still. Hey, it's so nice to actually talk to you in real time. I never get to talk to anybody in real time, it seems like. And, okay. And then we do the same thing for the bottom. Okay. I've got to start doing this more often. It is nice to really get a real firm understanding of who it is I'm talking to all the time. You guys, I kind of feel like I don't know y'all too well, and I just want to get to know you a little better. I want to share these gifts with the world, but I want to know you guys too. Okay, but isn't that just lovely? Oh my goodness. Ah, it's coming together so good. Oh, don't y'all just love that? That's so pretty. Okay, so now let all this dry. But before you let it dry, there's one more piece to this puzzle. We need to add some flaps so that this book can have something to cover this up. You don't want it to, you know, just be, you know, ragged edges right there. So what I'm going to do is bring back out my handy dandy paper pack. And let's see now. Okay, let's see now. What would make this paper really pop? I like that. That really would kind of be a contrast against all of that, all that floral print. I think I might do that one. Let me see. I did want to add in some gold. Ooh, I like that. I did want to add in some of the gold foil. Oh, that is pretty, but it does not match as much. Doesn't match as much. I want it to match. I want it to match that orange. And I don't want to just do floral on floral either. Let's see. I like that polka dot. That is kind of a contrast. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I like the stripe. I really like the stripe. I'm going to do the stripe. What do y'all think? The stripe? I don't know. I think I'm going to do the stripe. Ooh, I do like this gold, but that would be too much wood. I don't know. Let's see. It might be too much more. Yeah. Okay, I think the stripe too. I think the stripe. Let's go with the stripe. Thank you for helping me decide. Sometimes I just like, I need an opinion. It's like I want to make these things for y'all, but I need somebody else to be like, girl, that's too much. Okay, let's see. Okay, yes, that'll work nicely. So what I'm going to do is fold it right here so that I can get a good edge. Okay. And the same thing, I'm just going to fold it here. And I'm going to cut. Got a little tapered edge there. Hold on. Okay. Alrighty, let's see now. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, we're gonna round off these corners as well, so that I have not always created the cover first. Actually, now that I think about it, no, I've not created the cover first. That is not how I usually do it. Like, for instance, when I did it with my first one, I actually took the paper first and then I glued it together. I guess I kind of did it the same way, almost the same way here, but I didn't have to do any sewing. But as far as the cover goes, I didn't decorate it first before this, if that's what you're asking. What I did before this is I kind of just, I put the cover on first and then I decorated afterwards. But I found that this is a little bit more effective. Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't do it either. So yeah, I'm trying to share the knowledge. I love doing this and I think it looks great. It's just, a learning process, just learning it slowly but surely, and I think I finally got it down now. Oh, look at that. That just fits so nicely. Oh yes, for the that's exactly why. So it'll stay a little bit more sturdy. This way, the paper, that way I can glue it directly to the spine, and the actual string helps make sure that it's sturdy too. So that was another reason why I wanted to do it, so that when I do sell them, you know, they don't fall apart and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't want it to fall apart. I need to find a better way. So what am I doing? Okay, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing here, and we're gonna Mod Podge all of this. So I'm gonna need some more Mod Podge. There you go. Okay. And I'm just gonna do a little more of that. Okay, and we are just going to slather this with Mod Podge. So love that. And this is the cool part, because after I finish with all of this stuff, that's when the fun stuff starts. And I get to decorate the cover. I get to put stuff on it. That's my favorite part. Okay, so we've got this nice and covered. And we're just going to place that ever so lightly. Right there. Make sure it's in the right spot, and then smush. Smush it on down. That's so lovely. I love that contrasting color. That works so well. Okay, let me make sure. I have OCD about certain things, so I need to make sure that that is going to fit right. Okay. Okay. So that fits nicely. I love that. Okay. All right. And then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to Mod Podge this to death. And I'm actually going to Mod Podge this probably about 3 to 5 more times. Depends on how sturdy I feel that it is and or isn't. But the thing about it is we're going to stop about here, because this is where our book is going to fit in. Let's see. And that fits in so prettily. Oh my goodness. Ah, it fits in so prettily. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm not going to glue this down just yet because I need to give this time to dry. But what I'm going to do is put a whole bunch of fun stuff on the back. I'm going to put a whole bunch of fun stuff on the front. And I am going to be giving this away in my giveaway. So once I finish slathering it in Mod Podge, it will be set and it'll be nice and hard and acrylic solid. In addition to that, I'm going to just go ahead and show you guys. I'm going to glue this. Now, like I said, you can use tacky glue. You can use, I'm going to use hot glue. And I don't have my hot glue gun on right now for some reason. I'm a silly person because I didn't think to do that ahead of time. But I'm going to hot glue this here. I'm going to hot glue it down, and then I'm going to leave the edge just a little bit open so that I can just put some more Mod Podge and some more tacky glue so that this stays nice and flat. And then I'm going to add some other pretty paper and washi tape and stuff to just decorate this. And then I'm going to Mod Podge it some more. Not particularly this page, but everything else. And then I'm going to do the exact same side to this. I'm going to decorate this inside page with a whole bunch of different stuff. and then I will probably be able to come back and show you guys all the pretty stuff that I did to this mega journal. Like I said, it is the 2-inch size, so it should last about half a year or to a year, depending on how big or small you write. I know, isn't the color combo just so pretty? Oh, I love this paper pack. It was so, I got it from Michael's. So, I hope that you guys liked this. I'm going to be making more mega journals like this for my Etsy store. And I'm going to be opening my Etsy store today at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. Not really sure what that is for everybody else. I know it's about an hour or so off for everybody, but well, that depends on what part of the world you're in, because I know I do have other people who are watching in other various areas. So and by the way, yes, this is in the giveaway. The giveaway is open internationally. So the rules for said giveaway, I'm going to be posting them to the description that is going to be in this video a little bit later. Not just yet. When I do open my Etsy store, that is when the giveaway will start at 3 o'clock. So as far as what you have to do in order to enter the giveaway, those will be down there, but it's going to be the usual things like just like and share the video, join me on Instagram if you're already there, awesome, like the post that's associated with this giveaway video. And then, of course, if you haven't already, join me on Facebook. Let's be friends, and just go ahead and join the Chunky Planner group so that if you do win, you can go ahead and show me all the awesome things you're going to be doing with this. I can't wait to see what happens and what awesome things can be done with this by other people. I love seeing the little things that everybody does differently. So I have been on here for like an hour, you guys, and I love you. I will also be putting some of my other things in the store, like my new junk journals that I've just started. I am going to be doing more of the wood design, more of the fallsy, different types of stuff like that. And I want you guys to know I am going to be doing any of these papers that you see here, so that if you do see any that you like in particular and you want to add a nice combo, or if there was a specific quote that you saw that you wanted to add, make sure that you tell me so that I can do it, because I don't mind adding any of this extra stuff. When you do decide to try to buy it, make sure that you talk to me and we can go over different things that I do have here available. For instance, I've shown you guys who've seen my videos, I've got a bunch of different pieces of ephemera that I can add to the cover if you want. I can add pockets. Remember, yes, I can do the pockets. I can Mod Podge this so that you can actually, sorry, you guys, I got like little pieces of things on me, but I can add pockets. I can Mod Podge this. I haven't Mod Podged this one yet because I'm impatient and I don't like waiting for it to be dry and whatnot, but I can Mod Podge pockets on. You can add little pieces and things in front. Just let me know when the time comes and you want to buy one. I can add all sorts of things to your journal to make it really just 100% you. I can add your name to it. I can actually write it out with lettering and different things like that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you guys when I do get this a little bit more set up and when I am ready to open up the shop at 3 o'clock. So please have a blessed day, and I will see you guys soon. Stay meticulous.